Supergiant Games is one of my favorite studios out there. Bastion, Transistor, and even Pyre are some of my favorite games ever. Period. The amazing stories that these games have told, the characters that inhabit them, the beautiful art and amazing soundtrack, these are just a few of the reasons why I've fallen in love with these creations. So when Supergiant Games announced at the Game Awards that Hades would be entering early access on the Epic Game Store, I was excited, although a little apprehensive. The short, story-driven experiences that Supergiant Games has produced so far don't seem like a good match for the early access model. But, having given Hades a shot, I'm excited to see what comes down the line for this game. Hades has a lot of promise. There's a lot of good Supergiant Games juice in there. And like other Supergiant games, there's a lot of cool ideas being brought to the table here. Hades is a roguelike, or rather a roguelite, if you want to be specific. Each run of the game sees a young Prince Zagreus, the son of Hades, attempt to escape the underworld, the realm of his birth, in order to find his mother. The gods upon Olympus, seeing his plight, see fit to assist him in the form of boons and blessings. When Zagreus almost inevitably fails to escape and dies, he is returned home to his father's palace, ready to try again. This struggle makes up the gameplay loop of Hades, which is the reason why I think Hades is a good fit to early access, where any other Supergiant game wouldn't have been. The mark of a good roguelite or light is that the core mechanics of the game are fun and engaging, which can be a pretty tricky thing to do. Now, the foundation of the combat in Hades already feels very polished. You can tell that Supergiant Games are really leveraging their experience in past games here. You unlock new weapons as you progress in the game, and each one feels unique and interesting in their own way. But what makes this game a good fit for early access are the power-ups you get along the way. The buffs offered to you by the gods of Olympus change how you play. They modify the various aspects of combat, including your basic attacks and dodges, and can interact in fun and unexpected ways. And this is why I think that feedback is going to be important in the development process of this game. With such a large number of possibilities, balance could prove difficult, especially for a smaller studio. But the feedback provided by a large pool of early accessors might just prove invaluable. In fact, in the patch notes that accompany each update, Supergiant Games marks out the changes that were the result of community feedback. Hades is being updated on a large monthly update cadence with small patches in between, which has already brought a lot of new content and a lot of balance changes already. Certain power-ups have been completely reworked or removed because they proved to affect the game's balance in a negative way. By the end of this early access cycle, I expect we'll have a very engaging, very balanced game. As it stands, Hades is a really well-polished but very incomplete product. The moment-to-moment gameplay is great, but particularly good runs will be cut short as there are only 2 zones and their respective bosses to complete at the moment. And while there are the foundations for an amazing story, it's not quite there yet. The Supergiant Games take on this Greek mythology setting lends the game a wonderful cast of characters, and lays the foundations for what I think might be a powerful story about family. You have Zagreus, a young man determined to escape his upbringing to find the truth of his origins. Megara, first of the Furies, whose relationship with Zagreus is strained when she is tasked with preventing his escape. Hades, father of Zagreus, is resigned to his position as Lord of the Underworld and disapproves of his son's antics and attempts to escape. He is distrustful of the Olympian gods and weary of their true motives in aiding his son. He truly believes that escape is impossible, and his son is foolish for attempting to do so. All the characters and their motivations are all poised to create interesting stories, but aren't given the chance to do so yet. Honestly, I think this is for the best. The type of story I expect from Supergiant Games is best enjoyed all at once, not piecemeal over an early access development cycle. I hope that in early access, the folks over at Supergiant focus on creating and refining the gameplay, leaving the story to be enjoyed on release. An FAQ over on the Supergiant Games website says we should think about Hades Early Access as a pilot episode for the story, and I hope that continues to ring true. As it stands, Hades is a great game, and well worth the $20 if you're looking for a solid hack-and-slash roguelite that provides decent challenges and frequent updates. If you're the type of person who enjoys challenges for challenge's sake, a recent update allows you to add challenge modifiers to the game to make your runs a little bit more difficult. However, if you're looking for the fantastic story and characters Supergiant is known for making, you're probably best off waiting for full release. My favorite runs so far have been this one, where I held Y to become King of Purple Disc, and this one where I became the world's most powerful sprinkler.